Today we were talking to the Human Rights Commissioner, Leanne Finlay, about concerns that they had concerns that they did not have enough time to tell the government that they have problems with the social media ban. And I put this question to Lorraine Finlay, that is the social media ban actually a breach of human rights?
In short, yes, the way that it currently is put in place, because the ban touches on effectively excluding kids from being able to access a variety of information. There are rights around freedom of expression, freedom of association, right to education, etc., etc. But added to that, for the broader Australian community, there's also a right to privacy, because we don't know how this will be implemented.
And while we were having that discussion, somebody who knows this topic very well was listening. The youth mental health expert, Professor Pat McGorry, was listening to that discussion and to your calls, and he's called in. Professor, thank you for doing so.
Thank you, Justin.
What did you make of the Human Rights Commission?
Well, that was an interesting angle, which is not really the concern of people working in the youth mental health field so much, but it is another issue. I suppose, the first thing to say is the government deserves some credit and the Parliament deserves some credit for finally recognising that we have a youth mental health crisis on our hands. We've had a 50% rise in mental ill health in young people over the last 15 years. Now, the problem, though, with their solution is that all the evidence is weak in linking social media to causing this crisis. There have been 2 Lancet commissions published in the last couple of months, one by ourselves, led by Origin, and the other led by UK experts, and neither of them found much evidence to link this very substantial rise in mental ill health in young people to social media.
Well, to be clear, how bad is the problem? How bad is social media for young people?
Well, there are definitely harmful aspects of it, and some of the callers refer to that, and I totally understand the parents' concern, because they're seeing their kids struggle, from a mental health point of view. A huge wave of anxiety, depression, eating disorders, you name it, self-harm has increased steadily. And parents naturally sort of, put 2 and 2 together, and they think but the solution would be to limit and regulate and eliminate the harmful aspects of social media, and then allow access and the positive aspects of connection and all the things that the Human Rights Commission was referring to continue. It's a bit like if you have a swimming pool, you don't stop the kids from getting into the pool because it's dangerous. What you do is you teach them to swim, and you have a lifeguard on duty, and you stop any bad or harmful behaviour occurring. So it's a very simple proposition.
Yeah, I guess to use the Prime Minister's argument, though, he says when he was selling this to the Australian people, he said that it was giving parents permission to say, hey, nothing to do with me, it's been banned, and that it was helping parents to be able to teach their children. Do you agree with that?
Well, I can see where he's coming from, but no, I actually don't, because it's too blunt an instrument, and that there would be other things, and the duty of care legislation that the government also is putting in place. That's the way to go, to actually make the platforms safe and force these very irresponsible operators of the platforms, the Elon Musks of the world, to actually behave in the way everyone else has to behave, in a safe and in a safe manner. I mean, you can't, if you were running let's say, I don't know, a sporting facility or any sort of business where the public are sort of customers or involved, you have to obey the law. Yeah. You have to follow safety rules, and these people operating these platforms do not do that.
Well, I see that Elon Musk has fired a few shots via his platform overnight at the Prime Minister. I mean, is that a good sign if he's firing shots at the PM? For you, for people like you, is that a good sign?
Yeah, possibly it is. There's a great book written by Yanis Varoufakis, the former Greek finance minister, called Techno-Feudalism. And this is an analysis of what these people have been doing, the social media titans, over the last 15 years. So in a way, it's well-intentioned. I think the Prime Minister and all the parents, that you heard from are well-intentioned here, but we've got to work out what's going to work. And the other problem is that it does disenfranchise young people terribly. I mean, they're not listened to, and now they're excluded. It's the usual problem. Young people are struggling. They've got more and more problems than ever before. And they actually are the ones that end up suffering as a result of this type of approach.
Well, it's going to pass, Pat, isn't it?
I think so.
So what happens now? If there are fears that it's being rushed through and that it is really not the answer, not the full answer, anyway, what are your concerns with that?
Well, I think if it's a political reality, I think this is a political move as much as anything else. If it's a reality, we have to kind of adapt to it, and then we also have to prepare. If young people are being excluded till they're 16, it's like they haven't been taught to swim, and they're just thrown in the deep end at 16 into this kind of very still unsafe environment. So, there's a lot of work to do, even if the legislation does actually pass.
And it's with the cancelling out, with the banning of people under 16 from social media. Is that cutting out the good bits of social media? Because there's 14-year-olds. There are 14-year-olds that know nothing else, and this is a very big part of how they communicate and interact with their mates.
Well, the US Surgeon General put out an advisory of social media in which he didn't detail the harms, but he also detailed all the positive aspects as well. So you're right, and we at Origin and in the whole youth mental health sector actually, and it's not just Origin saying this; it's the whole sector that's I think supporting what I've been saying. We are using these platforms to provide therapeutic and preventive sort of care. My colleague Joe Robinson at Origin has developed an international platform called ChatSafe, which allows young people to talk with each other about suicidal risk online in a safe way. We have a program called MOST, which delivers a whole lot of therapeutic interventions in a very complex and a sophisticated way using these platforms. So young people won't have access to these services, it seems.
It's good to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Justin.
Professor Pat McGorry, it's 4 to 10. What do you think? 1300